Hello everybody. Thanks for coming here today. Today we're going to go over how I sharpen my knives by hand. This works for whether you're doing kitchen knives like we have over here in the block, or if you have a bushcrafty type of knife, or even a small little pocket knife that you like to carry every day. These are all freehand sharpening stones that I have here. The only thing that they don't work very good for would be like your serrated blades, especially a knife that's like fully serrated. I have other stones for those, and we might go over that in a different future video. But for today, we're just going to focus on, freehand sharpening. So I'm going to go over a few items that I have here today. I have some diamond plates. I have some resin bonded diamond stones. I have some diamond dust. I've got some wooden strops. I've got a leather strop. I've got homemade diamond emulsions that I've made. I've got some isopropyl alcohol, and I've got a scale. So how does it all work? The way it works here is, these are probably the most common plates that you'd want to buy when you're first getting into freehand sharpening. This is made by a brand called Atoma. They make really, really nice diamond plates. What I have here is I've got a 400 grit and I've got a 1200 grit. I'll pull one of them out just to show you guys what they are, but basically it's just a chunk of metal with a sticker on it, and on that sticker it's full of little, like each one of those little dots is like a little mountain of mini diamonds. They're awesome. They're cheap. You clean them off with a dry paper towel when you're done using them. So these are like really, really no maintenance stones actually. The only thing that you can do with these is Atoma actually sells these stickers. So if I wanted to, I could buy another sticker and put it on this side and have a two-sided stone, or if I did wear this out, I could peel this off and apply a new sticker to the base plate. But I'm not going to actually use these today. These are wonderful. I live in Canada, and these cost roughly $100 per stone. They're awesome. These are great just for sharpening kitchen knives. But I'm going to set these off to the side. I have these stones that I've got from Russia. These are made by a company called Vinev Industrial Diamonds. And in my opinion, and there's some opinions of other people online who are quite a bit smarter than I am, these are some of the finest diamond, resin bonded diamond stones that money can buy. And just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, these are very expensive. These are in Canada, by the time you pay duties, tariffs, and all the other stuff, these are $400 per stone. So there's $1,200 worth of stones here. But they're actually two-sided stones. So when you break down the cost, you're really getting $200 for this side, $200 for that side. So in reality, they cost twice as much as these. Is it worth it? I don't know. I'll let you decide. I think they are. What I'm going to do today is, this is the coarsest stone. This is the medium stone. Sorry, this is the medium stone, and this is the fine stone. We're going to take these two out of the equation today. Don't need them. Not today. So we're going to sharpen a knife with this. And when we're done sharpening the knife, we're going to use these. These are homemade diamond emulsions that I made. And I made them using 99% isopropyl alcohol. And this is like diamond dust that you get in different microns. I get them from Etsy. Man, I think I got like I got 20 grams of diamonds in each one of these bags. And it takes 1 gram of diamonds and 1 ounce of iso to make this emulsion. So I've got pretty well a lifetime supply of juice for my strops. So you apply these to these wooden strops. Like this is just a piece of basswood that I got from Home Depot. I've flattened this side completely with a piece of glass and a piece of sandpaper on top till it was flat. I've done it for all three of them. You'll notice I've got 1 micron, half micron, and 3 micron. I keep them separated so that I don't contaminate each one. But these are what I use at the very, very end when I'm finishing the knife. Here's the scale I got. I'm not a drug dealer. I don't know why it has all these skulls and dragons and stuff on it, but 30 bucks on Amazon. You can get these empty 1 ounce bottles. They're like 10 bucks from Amazon, and you make yourself your diamond juice. But we're gonna go on to sharpening a knife here. I'm just grabbing a rock. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take one of my knives, grab a little bit of paper towel from over here, and we're gonna see how sharp this is. Okay, so the knife's pretty sharp right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dull this knife with this rock, just to show you guys in real time how I would sharpen a knife. We'll see. That usually does a pretty good number on it. Yeah, we're not cutting anything. No paper towel, that's for sure. So, I'm just gonna give this a quick rinse in the sink. Get rid of this rock. I'm gonna pull out my stone. We're gonna get another rag here just so we can dry stuff off. Now these stones are beautiful because they're this layer here is like an epoxy layer, and it's full of diamonds spread out throughout it. Same on this side. So unlike a traditional Arkansas water stone that you can turn into a skateboard ramp after a couple of knives, these stones stay really flat for a really long time before you need to resurface them. They're basically a once in a lifetime purchase, so that's kind of why I got them. But they're also just splash and go stones. They're not like a typical Arkansas stone that you got to like soak for 24 hours and then keep dunking it in water. I'll show you guys how this works. It's awesome. Just for your guys' reference, we're going to start on this side. This is about a 390 grit according to the Japanese grit system, and this side is about 1200 grit. So I don't use this. I don't use stone holders, and like I can do it that way, but you know what it does? It bothers my back because I'm hunched over all the time. I prefer to bring the stone into my hand and do it like right in front of my face where I can see really good. So that's kind of how we're going to start off. And the way you would do this, if you're not really familiar with freehand sharpening, is you pretty well like lay your knife completely flat on the stone, right at the tail end of the stone. You're going to raise it up a little bit and start drawing it towards yourself. And you keep tilting the knife up. Keep tilting the knife up till it catches. Okay, it catch right there. So now I'm just going to tilt it down just a little bit, and that's your angle that you're going to keep. The other thing you're going to notice is that I don't move my wrist. When I get to the tip, I lift my elbow and I kind of rock this hand a little bit this way to get the tip, a nice profile on the tip. And I find it so much easier to control it when I'm holding the stone in my hand. So here we go. This is all live. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to do about 15 or 20 passes like this. Oops. I just banged the camera with my elbow and now you guys are probably getting dizzy. Okay, I'm going to feel this now for a burr. So what you're feeling for is if you run your thumb on the side that you're just sharpening, so I was just sharpening this side, you're not going to feel any type of catching on it. If you run your thumb this way, I can feel the burr all the way around. What I've gone is if this is the apex of my knife, I've made a burr that kind of sticks up and goes over it. So when I flip sides to do this edge, the first thing I want to do is kind of like take that burr and kind of like back file it a bit so I don't end up breaking it off and then wreck the hard work I just did. It's really important. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention, there's just one squirt of hand soap with a full bottle of water here. And these stones really like soapy water as a lube instead of plain water. So I'm just going to give it a couple more passes on this side just to ensure my burr's good. Yeah, and I got a burr now from the heel to the tip, which is perfect. So now I'm gonna flip sides. But before I stroke it this way, I'm gonna do a couple reverse. And these help remove the burr before you break it off. So I usually do 3 of those or so, and then I feel, okay, I pretty well got the burr gone there. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna do about 10 or so passes on this side now. And I'm going to feel for a burr. Now what you want to do is you want to create a burr back on the other side again. So I'm going to keep going. If you guys notice, I'm not doing anything like this with my wrist or anything. I'm just maybe lifting my elbow or rotating the stone just a little bit in my hand to get that angle. I'm going to give it a feel here. Okay, so I think I transferred the burr now again. And here's another way to check for a burr using paper towel. If you rub it on the side you're just sharpening, you're not going to feel anything. If you rub it on this side, I can feel there's burr. So now I'm going to start flipping. So now I made a burr on this side, I've made a burr on this side. I'm going to remove it, and then I'm just going to start attacking both sides of the knife. We're almost done. So I'm going to go back to my original side. Doing about 5 passes. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Go back to flip sides, do about 5 passes, always starting with a trailing edge stroke for burr removal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. So we're right where I want to be. So what I do at this point is I start to alternate. And so we just did 5 and 5. So now we're going to do 4 and 4, 3 and 3, 2 and 2, 1 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and so on. Now we're going to do 3. Now guys, I'm using about between 2 and 5 pounds of pressure pushing down on the blade. Now we're down to 1. We're going to go 1 and 1 a few times. Now I'm lightening my pressure down to like 1 pound. Let's have a feel there and see what it's like. Okay, I got to do a couple more passes on this side. Give it a feel. Okay, I like that. So now I've kind of, when you can't really discern a burr on either side, you're pretty well got the knife fully apexed. You got a nice point. There might be a few little chunks of burr here or there, left on the apex. So we're gonna flip over to the 1200 grit side. I'm just gonna do a couple passes, not very many. We're only going 1 and 1 as well. So now I'm not gonna do a trailing stroke. I'm just gonna do forward. All right. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna dry everything off here. Move that stone into the sink. This is real time. We're gonna dry this stuff off. It's important you dry your blade completely before you try cutting paper towel with it, because it'll deceive you. If your blade is a little bit wet, it won't quite cut the paper towel very well. And I always, when I'm sharpening my knives, I always test with paper towel and like magazine paper. That way you can tell where you're at. Kind of like the litmus test. Oh yeah, see? Went from Dullard and Toby's ass to pretty well razor sharp. You know, it can cut, I can cut free hanging. Right? You can cut free hanging paper towel, you know your knife is really sharp. But we're gonna take things one step further, and we're gonna use my 1/2 micron basswood strop. Basically, like I said, this is just a chunk of basswood that I've flattened with sandpaper on a piece of glass. And I've gone ahead and given it a dusting of my 1/2 micron juice. Let it dry for like 30 seconds. That's why I use 99% alcohol, because it like if I was to put some of this on here, just move that out of the way so I don't get anything on it. But if I was gonna put some of this stuff on there, it's literally like, you can see how it's wet there, and then if I wave it a bit, I also smell it. As soon as you can't smell the isopropyl alcohol, you know it's dry. So we're gonna give this thing just a few refinement swipes on the strop, and we're done. Starting from tip to heel, very light pressure, holding the exact same angle that I was using to sharpen. It looks like my hands are shaking. It's because I'm jacked on coffee. It's not because I'm pushing hard. I'm using about 1/2 pound of pressure here. Extremely light pressure. And I can actually feel, because I'm using wood, I can actually feel the little bits of burr that are left hanging on the blade catching on the wood and getting tore off. All right, I think we're good. That is as sharp as I can get a knife. It's really sharp. I'm gonna get one other thing here. Try this piece of paper towel here. Get that out of the way. We're gonna use this magazine paper, and I'm just gonna try a drop cut. Come on. My hands are shaking like Michael J. Fox here. It always does this. Every time I'm under pressure with the camera. Okay, we'll give this one last go here. So I'm feeling right near the heel, I could do a little bit more work on this knife. But I mean, I've just done a hasty sharpen with it. You know, it cuts, you can cut swirls and curves with it. You know, maybe I can give it a couple more passes on this side. All right, we'll go one more here. And we'll try it again. Grab this rag. And give it another couple blasts on this. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. See how it cuts free hanging. Yeah, we're good. There you have it. That's about a 5-minute sharpen. Obviously, I could get it way sharper if I took my time, but I'm just trying to show everybody out there that it can be done. It doesn't take forever. You guys watch me go from dulling this knife with a rock to having it super sharp. I mean, if I spend a little bit more time on it, you'll get diminishing results, but just for the kitchen, man, that's sharp enough. Or if you're going bushcrafting, it's definitely sharp enough. So with that being said, I'm gonna end this video, and if you guys got any questions or comments, just hit me up in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. So thanks again for watching. Have a nice day.